Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles. Let me get a hell yeah!
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another edition of Party on Broad. Today, we are talking about one of my favorite picks. He is Tyrell Terry. Joining us today is my man, Austin. Follow him on Twitter at KrellTPL. Check out the feed to Embiid. Covers everything Sixers and the NBA. What's going on, Austin?
Or fucking don't follow me. Who cares?
There it is. Also,
Set the tone. Set the tone for the podcast.
is my man, Thiago. Follow him on Twitter at TScabia. What's going on, Thiago?
Been great, man. On that note, I just went on my Twitter and I just unfollowed Austin. It's a joke. It was a joke. I love him. He's a great man. Follow him for sure.
Now I'm gonna be like, this motherfucker right here.
All right. Today we are talking about Tyrell Terry. Personally, my number 2 prospect in this entire draft, right after Kyra Lewis. We're going to talk about just who is Tyrell Terry. We're going to talk about his strengths, his weaknesses, and the best team fits. I wonder who that could be for me. But today, let's go about Tyrell Terry. According to Rivals, Tyrell Terry was a 4-star recruit out of Minneapolis. He was ranked 77th in the nation in high school and received offers from Butler, Minnesota, and Iowa before committing to Stanford in June 2018. He won 3 state championships in high school and tallied 19 points and 10 assists in that state title game. He was a finalist for Mr. Basketball in Minnesota and participated in the USA Select Team in Germany. Tyrell Terry started all 31 games as a freshman with Stanford. He averaged 14.6 points, 4.5 boards, 3.2 assists per game. That got him all freshman and all Pac-12 honors. The last freshman from Stanford to do so was Brooke Lopez back in 2007.
Sensational rebounder.
Yeah.
So on April 6th, Tyrell Terry decided to enter the NBA draft. Currently, most draft experts currently see this guy as a late first round, high second round pick, but there are some recent mocks that had this guy like pretty much at the end of the lottery, which is really, really interesting. Some stat nuggets for this guy. He scored in double digits in 27 of 31 games at Stanford. He scored 20 or more points 9 times his freshman season. He made at least 2 3-pointers in over half of the games, and he had 3 double-doubles. So let's talk a little bit about Tyrell Terry's strengths. Lead us off, Austin.
So, I mean, he had a usage of 24.5%. I mean, he was basically a key cog in the Stanford offense. Obviously, a high level of attention went to him on the defensive end, to try to limit his shot selection. Even with that, shot like 41% from 3. So, this guy's a flamethrower, can really pour it in from deep.
Awesome. What about you, Thiago?
Yeah, man. For me, like bona fide shot maker. Tyrell Terry is absolute demon in transition. About 26% of his scoring came in transition. And I, for myself, like absolutely love the fit with any team who's going to run, who's going to look for quick shots in transition, and who would also have an ideal drive and kick option. Tyrell Terry shot over 50% from the corner. And I'm just thinking a team that can have a guy who can suck in the defense and kick out to him is just an ideal. Yeah, exactly. An ideal fit for Terry. I love his ability to make shots off balance, to hit contested shots. So, just a bona fide, to Austin's comments, flamethrower for sure.
For me, this is an off-the-ball weapon, man. Tyrell Terry makes most of his impact on offense without the ball and moving without the ball, and he's just one of the best at it. When he showed it at Stanford. This guy's a legit playmaker in the pick and roll. Due to his ability to shoot over screens and find the roller in the pick and roll, this guy can put defenses in a bind in that pick and roll. According to the Stepien, 33.3% of Tyrell Terry's offense came as primary ball handler in the pick and roll. So we're going to talk a little bit about best fits, but first let's talk a little bit about weaknesses. Go ahead, Austin.
So one thing is we're diving into weaknesses with Tyrell Terry. They actually wrote a song about him a while back.
Oh man!
And here's the opening lyrics.
Oh god!
You had better watch out. You had better not cry. You had better not pout. I am telling you why. Tyrell Terry is pulling from downtown.
Wow.
He's making a list. He is checking it thrice. He's gonna find out who's sagging or nice. Tyrell Terry is pulling from downtown. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Mic drop.
So weaknesses. I mean, he is. He's 6'1", 160. He has to bulk up, but I think a concern would be that when he's new to the league, he will have a tendency to be pushed back a little bit by defenders who can just sort of body him out back to the perimeter.
Yep.
And so that's going to be hard for him to get his lane and sort of get past guys. And then what happens if he's tired? Then does that result in okay, I'm just going to chuck this step back three and hope for the best? Then if that happens, is it he's going to lose confidence in his shot? So I mean, I think the size there is going to be an issue. I think with someone who is a prolific shooter like him, that could shake him a little bit. But that's something that at 20 years old, you live with, and maybe he grows a little bit more, maybe he doesn't. But at 160, he's got to bulk up.
Go ahead, Thiago.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, to Austin's point, he's got to bulk up, and I did notice he does try to avoid contact a little bit. He's a little bit shy on that end. Again, I don't know if it's part of his makeup or he's just trying not to get injured or not to get in the ruckus, but
naughty list.
Naughty list. He does he's always a little step behind a rebound or a step behind a steal, and you can see his but so that part of it stood out for myself. Also from the standpoint of, he's a tremendous off-ball weapon, but he has very little value as a downhill threat. And I'm thinking in the NBA, he's going to run into guys who are just going to hound him off screens and off cuts. And is he going to be able to contribute offensively at a consistent level against some of the most, nightmarish off-ball defenders? That's something I really want to see if he's able to progress his part of his game. He does bring the ball up the court on occasion, but mostly off the court, he's just kind of more of a runner off screens and run around, dribble hands off and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I see this guy as not a pure facilitator. This guy's solid at moving the ball and getting others involved, but this is not a guy that you want as a primary ball handler. This guy projects best as being that offensive spark off the bench. Despite being a freshman, you touched on it, 24.5% usage rate at Stanford, Austin. So that's obviously not going to happen in the NBA. But I think this guy's so young. He had 99 assists compared to 82 turnovers on the season. That's got to get better. But, dude, this guy's so young, and he does well enough to get others involved in the pick and roll. So definitely not a pure facilitator. Let's talk best fits. Go ahead, Austin.
For me, I think a best fit, any team that struggles to put the ball in would be a pretty good fit. I mean, he's a flamethrower. And I think you would like to have some guy, or ideally he'd be on a team where there are other shooters around him to command attention, because I think if he's the main focus of your offense as a shooter, it's going to be hard for him. It's going to be hard for him to excel.
Uh-huh.
But I think a team like the Celtics could make a lot of sense. I think the Mavericks would make a lot of sense for him.
What about you, Thiago?
I thought about Dallas. I thought it would make a lot of sense. For me, is the Milwaukee Bucks, and they're picking at number 18. They have that ideal driving kick guy in Giannis. They need cheap contracts if they want to keep Giannis around. He's going to demand a lot of money. And they led the league in wide open three-pointers last year. So I'm thinking Giannis, Terry, he's getting a lot of open looks from Milwaukee. So I think that's a great fit for him.
Awesome. Obviously, I'm going with my team, man. The Sixers, man. What a perfect fit, man. Oh, man. All right, so
according to Deibs, the Sixers have 11 first-round picks.
The Sixers' biggest area includes playmakers and guys who can space the floor. Shake and Furkan are your only true players that can reliably space the court. Shake is not even a sure thing for next year. Sorry, but the Sixers lack playmakers that, with the ball and getting others involved. The absence of JJ Redick, man, I mean, we haven't stopped talking about that all year long. So the Sixers need a guy that can reliably put pressure on a defense, and I just can't think of a better option than Tyrell Terry. It's just a perfect fit, man. All of Tyrell Terry's weaknesses project really well playing alongside a ball-dominant guy like Ben Simmons in that pick and roll. And I just see this guy thriving with Philadelphia and his ability to space the floor. And I'm sorry, guys, my body is fully prepared to take Tyrell Terry at number 22. I know that might be a reach, but I think this guy is such a perfect fit. For me personally, it's Kyra Lewis, then it's Tyrell Terry.
Nice. Think about that statement.
This changes every week. Last week it was like first it goes Kyra Lewis, then like Emmanuel Quigley. Then it was like
Emmanuel is your guy.
I have been on Tyrell Terry for months now, so sorry.
Emmanuel Quigley is better than Tyrell Terry, and it's not even a discussion.
Talent-wise, I would agree, but I think fit-wise, I think this is a better fit. Any reaction to that, Thiago?
Think about that statement. Our floor spaces, the Sixers floor spacers are Furkan Korkmaz and Shake Milton.
You say that like Furkan Korkmaz.
I mean, think about that statement. Like, you have to get guys who can put the ball in the net when those are your two guys.
You need a guy who has his own song. Tyrell Terry is pulling from downtown.
Man.
I don't know how you found that, but good job.
So be good for goodness sake. So put a hand up for goodness sake.
I don't even know.
Love it. I love it.
All right. Make sure you follow my man Thiago on Twitter at @tscabia. Check out Austin on Twitter at KrellTPL, and check out the feed to Embiid on Twitter at the feed to Embiid. Covers everything Sixers and the NBA. For Thiago, for Austin. See you next time.
Sixers win it! Wow! Oh, man, Embiid just posterize Russell Westbrook. You love the Philadelphia Eagles! Let me get it!